Hello.
Hi, everyone. It feels like we've been gone forever. We kind of have.
We have been gone forever, but it's good to see all of you guys here.
It is.
And I know this was still a little last minute, but I did manage to like put something out, and I can tell because some of you guys are already here. So earlier, and I managed to barely get out of my pajamas. I'm wearing bedroom shoes and sweatpants, and so is Cheryl, pretty much.
You got my Crocs on.
Oh, yay, Gina's here, and Tanya. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for being here.
We're tired, but we're here.
And just, oh, so slightly cranky. But, oh, Lisa's here, and Kelly's here, and Ron, so many people. It's awesome to see you guys. You're in pajamas, Tanya, as it should be.
Yeah.
Karen's here. Yeah. Oh, Elizabeth, we've been talking to Elizabeth. So for those of you who don't know, because we didn't really do any lives because the cruise ship internet wasn't so great. And Gina's like, how was your vacation? I'm like, feed us a line, why not? Tanya says I'm cranky too. Yeah, you know, the holidays, we got back, and I want to issue a public apology that we did not go live on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. And
we got home late.
It was more of a public service. No. But what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and go live every day between today and New Year's Day, at least.
Yeah.
And just make a dinner because, like, I did order a few things from Costco. We can talk about that. We'll make a dressing. We'll talk a little bit about the vacation and just kind of like getting back in the swing of things. Oh, hi, Duran. Thank you. Merry Christmas to all of you guys who celebrate. Happy Hanukkah, happy belated winter solstice, and happy holidays for the hundreds of holidays I don't even know exist. Whatever holiday, how big or small, we hope that you had the very, very best time. Oh, look, Brooke is here for her first live. Awesome. Excellent. Lisa's in her PJs too. Patricia's here. Jackie. Oh, Jackie had to work. We did have a wonderful holiday, actually. Tanya says, I have the next week off work. Okay, I will try to think up a schedule. I'm trying to like get back into the swing of things. I teach on Saturday, which is 2 days away. And I'm going to be getting in the swing of things to start working on the book and taking pictures and actually making it. And did I say CJ already?
I think.
CJ!
Yeah, I think you said that.
And Goldberg was on yesterday for a little while. Pretty good. I don't know Goldberg.
Is that the smoothie person?
Goldner.
Oh,
I don't know. I'm sure somebody cool was on.
Goldner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay, cool. Yay. Well, she's pretty awesome. TS is here and says, hi, Kathy, Cheryl, Ferguson, Luna, and everyone in the chat. That's awesome. You just got your 6-quart Instant Pot and you made oatmeal. Well, congratulations.
Awesome. You pulled it out. You did the thing. That's great.
Yeah, and so on the channel too, here, I'm going to put this up here because yours was teeny tiny. This is why I never know how big to make these. But that gives me an idea, right? And getting an Instant Pot is really cool. Like, can you make everything on the stove that you make on the Instant Pot? Of course you can. Same thing with a slow cooker. It's just about making it a little easier. And earlier today, when I was going to do a live earlier, I had decided I was going to make this in the slow cooker, and you totally could. So with that, I would do just about the same thing, only put it in a slow cooker for high for about 4 hours. And it could be 3 hours. It just depends on how big you cut your potatoes and when they're ready. And on the image I used, which was not my image, for potato soup, it was pureed. I'm going to show you how I like to do mine, which is not pureed. which is great. Oh, how funny. Tanya says, I happened upon a 7-year-old video. Ooh, I'm going to get this. With you and Chef AJ. Yeah, that's really funny. Yeah, I probably look about the same. I do like the snooty comment. I don't know what the snooty comment
I
was.
think we were trying to figure out Goldberg and Goldner, and I think maybe.
Did you say snooty?
I can't remember.
I wouldn't have said snooty. Oh, Vi!
remember
Says,
what
I've only made yogurt in my Instant Pot. I've made millet and split pea soup, both epic fails. Tell me what failed about it, and then we can troubleshoot it a little bit.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. With beans and lentils and split peas and red lentils are usually pretty on target because they're going to melt. They're going to melt into things, so you don't really have to worry that much about it. Oh, I had long hair in a ponytail. It was a pandemic video.
That was probably pre-pandemic if you had long hair and a ponytail.
No, I had it in the ponytail for years until I made you cut it into a bob.
In the pandemic. That's right. That's right. That was my best haircut
Yeah.
ever. I did it one time successfully, and then after that was not
I thought
so
it was fun.
good.
She's like, I messed up the back, and I said, I can't see it. I'm happy. And Elizabeth is saying, once you get the hang of it, the Instant Pot's so easy. I'm more than happy to help you out. I use mine every day. And were you not?
Now I do. Sorry.
Okay. Oh, Doris, it's good to see you. I like the broccoli and the heart. Thank you for that. The millet was mushy. This was too smooth and tasteless. Okay, we can talk more about how to make your food flavorful, because the key is you always season before you serve or re-season before you serve. This one is going to be the most plain, but you'll see how I do it. I'm going to put a few things in to cook and create a broth, but then we will add more. So if you're cooking in the Instant Pot or the slow cooker, always re-season before serving. With the Instant Pot, because of the pressure, it can dull the flavor. So a lot of things I will add in before, especially if you're using ginger, if you're using some fresh herbs or light herbs like basil, thyme, excuse me, things like that. If the millet was too mushy, then I would cut back on the thyme. So I would say if the millet, and I can't think off the top of my head, I would think millet and split pea would be pretty close. And I can look up the times in one of my books. But you could cook, let's say, I'm just making this up. These aren't real. Let's say split peas take 10 minutes. Millet takes 5. You can put the 10-minute in first.
You have not drank enough water today, have you?
I have not. And I haven't. I don't know what I just. Oh, I put the almond stuff in my mouth. That's what stuck in my throat. I made this great blanched, not blanched.
Bleached.
No, blanched. It is blanched almond. So the covers are taken off, the little skins. And so I made some almond milk, and we're going to probably use that as the base of one of the dressings. I'm thinking it would make a great ricotta for those of you who don't do soy. But that's what stuck in my throat. All right, we'll try again, and we'll see if I have to go back to that. So, and maybe the millet you cook 5 minutes. So you could start and cook 5 minutes in your Instant Pot. Stop, release the pressure, add the rest. So you can layer things in like that. It's a pain. It's a pain. So you could also soak whatever takes longer. Probably millet takes longer than that. This is bothering me to not tell you the truth. So let me look in my cooking charts. I haven't cooked millet or split peas in a while, so I'm just looking it up in the gluten-free vegan cooking. In your Instant Pot, if you don't have this book, if you order it through my YouTube shelf, I can sign it to you, or you can give it as a present. I just have to remember the charts are in a different place here. than in the other book. I think they might be in the appendix. They always make me move things around. Yes. So millet is 10 minutes. I don't have split peas in here or lentils. Yeah, I do lentils and split peas 5 to 8 minutes. So one thing, there's a couple of things when you're using your Instant Pot that are just good to know. One is natural pressure release or manual pressure release, as I often, natural pressure release versus manual. Manual is sometimes called quick pressure release. So as it's sitting, even though the cooking time is gone, it's going to continue cooking, right? Mm-hmm. So if you let it sit there for 10 to 15 to 20 minutes, that's going to keep cooking it. So if you found that your millet was overcooked, you might want to either A, cut it back a couple of minutes, or try to do a quick pressure release, which often involves opening it, closing it, opening it, closing it, especially if you're doing a soup. So we can talk about that, and we can talk about, again, with adding in things like, I think I have a bunch of lentil soups in here. It's in this one or my other one. So I love using split peas and lentils in soups, and maybe we'll do one of those this week too. We'll make a new one. Hey, Adriana, it's good to see you. Oh, thanks, Elizabeth. You're so sweet. And Gina says, I just discovered that russet potatoes make fluffier mashed potatoes than Yukon Golds. It does, and I like them both as mashed, personally. Okay, Vi, thank you. She's clarifying. She made millet once and then made split pea another time. So with the millet, one thing you can always do as you're learning this and learning how you like it, because Jill Newsonow and I like our still cut oats less cooked and chewier than a lot of people because we both get grief about it. I like my beans softer than she does, right? So a lot of this is personal preference. So with the millet, I would start with a less amount of time, and you can even do half the amount of time when you're learning. Look in, go, Or you could add a little more water, turn it on to saute, and let it finish off that way too, right? So those are a lot of ways you can do it. And Tanya said, I just realized it's a bowl of potato peels. Yes, these are chips you don't want to eat. Actually, you'll see. I'll show you overhead. Yeah. My potatoes grew. So we're going to talk about using up, and if this was summer or spring, these growths I actually put in my planters, and I do that with sweet potatoes when they grow eyes as well, because they make the most beautiful vines and they're free. But like, I have some potatoes over here that you can see that didn't make the cut, and we'll talk about why some looked like this and made the cut and some didn't, because I thought, I know a lot of you've gone full winter and you're not worrying about this, but like, it's supposed to be 60 degrees again over the weekend, and it was 19 degrees
while we were gone,
which
was very stressful.
And we'll talk about that too. So let's go ahead and get some of this in here. Also, this is one of the, this goes on the KitchenAid, and it's got a dicer.
Oh my God, she's been playing with that so much.
So I realized I didn't move this out of the way of the camera.
I mean, she's been giddy about that.
Videos ready.
Almost as giddy about that as you were with the peeling dice.
Well, what I wanted to find was something that could dice at a lower price point. And so a lot of you have KitchenAids, and we'll talk about, it's much smaller, but the dicing blade that comes with it is the small dice blade. So I diced up a whole bunch of onions.
All I heard was zoop, zoop, zoop. I was like, what?
Thank you so much. And Jennifer, it's so good to see you again here. And Jill. Tanya says, glad to see I'm not the only one who still uses potatoes like that. Yes, okay. And Elizabeth is saying, and Tanya says, is that a new processor attachment? It is. It does not do the S blade, but it does shred, dice, julienne, and slicing. And I'm going to talk about it more. I got it on, I keep kind of like saying there's this new shopping app I've been playing with. The reason I'm being so sly about it is like, I can only invite you with your phone number and you get discounts by looking at videos. And I'm just not sure how I feel about.
And we're still not 100% sure if we understand how it all works.
I think I did.
Have you figured it out?
Yeah, no, I did.
Because all I know is every day she's like, did you flip? And I'm like,
yeah.
Flip.
So like right now they're doing $5 a day if you if you watch 10 videos. But anyhow, I'm not sure how involved I want to get you in that, but like Hydran, you probably should be on there.
Hydran should definitely be on there.
But anyhow, so I got it like half price. So I'm getting, and it is a KitchenAid. And it fits on a standard KitchenAid mixer. So again, you still have to have something, but I think it was, I'll have to look at what the price is now, but it was way less than half price. It was like quarter of the price of a Breville. Hey, Lydia. And hey, Terry. We did love the cruise. It was awesome. So it was really cool, and Cheryl's trying to work on some videos, and Elizabeth's saying, flipping at 11:50 in the buffet on the cruise. Elizabeth was on the cruise where we were. We figured it out. And we had 2 other friends with us as well, so it was interesting.
It was very fun.
So let me go back. So it uses disc system, yes. So there's different discs, and I'll show you all. I've got a video that I have to edit. So let's go back. Okay, Penny's saying, I have potatoes with those on them and I didn't know what to do. We'll watch to see what to do with them. Okay, so here's my general spiel. Do I have my other? I'm trying to see if I only have,
Which one?
There was a black, here we go. This one. Okay. So first off, if you have potato peelers, stop it. If you have potato peelers, they're already kind of showing you ways to deal with that. So before we even get to the soup, we're just in it to win it. These are the potatoes that didn't make the cut. But as you can see, it's not necessarily because, like, look at that. That's a really big one. It's not because of the growth size. It's because of the squishiness. If it's too squishy, this one could probably, like if I was in Russia and it was winter, I would eat this potato. It's not going to be green on the inside. But like, feel this potato, Cheryl, and feel it under, so they can see. You right here. You can look at the camera. So feel that one versus feeling this one. That one's way
mushier, but to me they're both too mushy. Like this one.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm teaching them what I think.
Okay.
So the thing is, though, this one is also more shriveled. This one, for example, feel this one. This one's easy.
Yeah.
It makes you feel kind of icky when you squeeze it.
And you can see it move when you squish it.
It's too squishy. So this one was easy. This one was easy. It's about the same amount of squishy.
Yeah, you can see it move when you squish it.
Now this one is kind of harder, and this one I would have used, except it's so small and there's also a bad spot that I'm probably going to end up with a tiny amount of potato.
Not worth the effort.
You can kind of start growing these in some water too if you just want to have some greenery. But for instance, let me show you with this potato. This is what you don't want. You do not ever want to eat these. These growths are poisonous. They're going to make you sick. They're not going to kill you, but you're going to wish you were dead. They're going to make your stomach hurt really bad.
Oh, that's pleasant.
Right. Well, I mean, that's why we cut them off and we don't even try to eat them. Okay? So, let me come in here. All right, so this is how I prepared them. Like, I don't need to be trying to work around that. These have little things for scooping these out. This kind has a little pokey. So like I can poke it in here and poke it around and get that out. It doesn't grow into the center of the potato like you might think it does. It's really just kind of right there. So if I come in here, I can take this guy and just go around. And literally that shallow, that's all. It wasn't even all the way through that. So don't worry about that. See here? Because it looks like it would be going all the way to the center, but it doesn't. Okay? This we can plant in a nice plant and it will give us some greenery.
Would it grow a potato?
Yeah, it will grow potatoes. This is how people used to, like if you ate the last potato and didn't save any of that stuff, you can plant potatoes next year. Okay, so this is going to be a little lighter. Now, one thing you want to look for here, do you see any green? No. The reason we don't see any green is because we have these in the cabinet. So if you see green, you have to cut off the green part. But this one is see how it's a perfectly fine potato?
It is, yeah.
Even though it was a little squishy. And I had saved this one to show you that you can indeed just peel it, and then I'm going to rinse it. And yeah, there's some little holes in there. I don't care. If there were some bad spots, I'd cut that out. But if it's green, you have to keep cutting down until the green is gone. If it's green too far down, I would just discard it.
Do you have something that's green so
No.
you can see what it looks like?
No. Usually that happens when you leave it out in, but like you can tell.
But it'd be obviously green.
It's obviously green. And I'm just making extra potato soup anyhow. But that's what this is all about. And we'll put this in the compost. I don't know which ones of these I used. So we'll just do the soup together really soon, and then I'll answer any other questions you have. I know some people get really freaked out because if it's green, it does have stuff that's upsetting to your stomach. But honestly, it's just not. Russian people in the middle of winter when they weren't able to have food, or your grandmother on the prairie.
Great-great-grandmother, baby.
Whoever. They weren't like, there's a little spot on that carrot. We don't really need to eat tonight.
I remember my grandmother would dig out eyes on stuff.
Right?
But
And
she wouldn't let them get that long.
Well,
like, she would use them before they got to that.
I didn't try to let them.
Well,
I
I
didn't
know
know
they
it
were
was
in the
going to be
cabinet.
summer again.
Right?
And so we keep them in the like keeping them covered helps them not get green, right? And so
keep them in the dark.
we keep them in the dark, just like everybody else. So this is about 6 or 7 cups of potatoes. Why that many? Because that's how many I needed to use up. And we can just heat up some of this again, right? Okay, and let me go back real quick and answer TS's question. She said that she's confused about looking in the Instant Pot. It's a pain. So looking in the Instant Pot to check on the cooking, you have to release all of the pressure to open and check it, yes. Then start it up again. You could do that or press saute and then go ahead and just add probably some more liquid you might need. Sometimes if you cook beans are the big variable of an Instant Pot. How old are your beans? Well, you know how old they are in your house, but you don't know how old they were when you bought them at the store. So some beans can take a really long time. Some beans take almost no time at all. Rancho Gordo beans typically cook in less time because they're usually fresher, unless they come from my pantry and they're 4 years old, right? So I've soaked them and then, so sometimes you can open it up. This is not something I think you should do for every single thing, but as you're learning your Instant Pot, it can be interesting to do, if that makes sense. So if I open the beans and I take 2 spoons, I put 1 bean between 2 spoons and I twist it. If it twists exactly in half and you can see where the split is, they're not cooked enough. You can taste it and see, but that's a really good visual way to know. And if you don't cook beans long enough, they're going to hurt your stomach. You're going to have a stomach ache. And some people soak their beans and some people don't. That just changes the cooking time. If you do this and it kind of smushes, it's all cooked well. So if it just barely broke open, I tasted it's really close, I might just put a little more water in and put it on saute. If I have a table full of people waiting, I might go ahead and let it go back up to pressure and cook another 5 minutes. You're always kind of guesstimating, but the more experience you have, the closer you're going to get. So hopefully that helps TS. And we'll get back to cruising later. Yeah, and I don't get seasick so far.
Nope.
So I'm very excited.
Neither one of us. Like, we did really well.
Okay, Gina says, I had an Instant Pot a few years ago and gave it away. I didn't like the idea of layer cooking, and it was frustrating, start and stop. So I just used a pot. Everything isn't for everyone, and you should cook the way that works best for you. In general, I don't do layered cooking a lot, but I will do it if we're on vacation. If it's just the two of us, it's pretty easy. So that would mean like cooking rice in the bottom. In both my cookbooks, I have layered cooking, but you never have to do it. If you don't want to cook rice in here and your curry, use the rice cooker or the stove to cook your rice and just make your curry in here. That's totally up to you.
We do that all the time.
Yeah, we do. And sometimes people have 2 Instant Pots, one they make their grain with and one they make their stew with. And Vi says, can you please explain about when the potato skin turns green? It produces a thing, and I don't know the name of it. It produces something, and it's not digestible by the body. So it's going to make you feel sick. But if it's just the skin, if you peel the skin off and go down a little bit and it still looks just like potato, I do that all the time. If it turns green and it's like really green and green all over and you'd have to make it almost like a pencil, just throw it away. That's not worth the work. But if there's sometimes the skin, well, let me see if I don't think I have anything in here that's... I have lots that have the gross, but I don't have any that are green. It's usually what happens is that...
Does the outside start to turn green as well?
Yeah, the outside will start, so it'll start looking a little greenish.
Okay.
So you just, so squishy, right? Elizabeth, like I said, they're not going to kill you, but you'll wish you were dead. It's just going to give you a tummy ache, right? But we don't need to do that. It's very easy. I cut off the big ones. And the little ones we just take out and we just make sure to peel it. Even if you don't usually peel your potatoes, that's the time you have to peel them. Grow inside or outside? I've never tried to grow them inside, but I do just slip them in like with my herbs and stuff and let them kind of trail down. I do that. Sweet potato vine you can actually buy at like Lowe's, or you could use that last little bit of, I just save them when it starts to being a point that I could plant them. Since it was 19 degrees, I'm nervous to plant them now, but as soon as it's probably in a couple months, I won't be so nervous. And Jill just uses her thumbnail to get it out. Yeah, or you can use the tine of a fork, but in general, if you have a potato peeler,
it's built for it.
It's built there. And so one of the reasons I like to tell you that it's there is so people get so nervous. Like, she's like, oh, we can't eat that. I'm like, you've eaten this so many times. Like, not, you
Sometimes it's not worth it for me to look and see what is actually being made because I'm like, I can't eat that.
Yeah, and Jill says they're usually soft when the eyes appear. And to me, there's a difference between a little soft and squishy. Squishy, I just say no to. Oh, good. And Penny says, thank you for showing that. That's helpful. I usually have done that, but wanted to be sure, right? And with the weather being so weird, oh, Gina's mom used to grow sweet potato vines in the kitchen. Well, I should try that.
Nice.
I'll check and see. I didn't have any eyes on those yet, and I had them out.
Yeah.
Oh, it is Boxing Day.
Is it? Yeah.
We've not left the house. Cheryl got the mail.
I went to the mailbox and I pulled in the order from Costco.
Oh, Angela, it's so good to see you. We were near you, right? Happy holidays to everyone who didn't hear us say happy holidays. I listed the specifics that I know, but any holidays, I wish you a joyful one. Yay, and Mona's here, and Lisa's here. And Lisa says beans last forever in Florida with all our humidity. And I mean, really, beans last forever. They're seeds. They're seeds from 2,000 years old. It's just they may take a little longer to cook in your Instant Pot. Like maybe a lot longer.
Those 2,000-year-old beans, like how long do you think it would take for those to cook in the Instant Pot?
Yeah, I have no idea.
A year?
And Tanya was told the green was poisonous. It's not fatal, but makes you sick. Yes, and so you should take it off. If there's green on there, it's not good.
Yeah.
And you can see very clearly there's not a speck of green on any of this. Sometimes if there's just a little green and I can just use the potato peeler around it and it's gone, I'm okay with that. Oh, here we go. Someone knows the real word. Solanine, a glycoalkaloid toxin that can be harmful if eaten in large quantities. I'm sure I pronounced that.
It's a glycoalkaloid.
Thank you. I just make recipes. But yeah, I mean, you would have to eat a lot of it, but it could, if your stomach is delicate, it could upset your stomach. So we don't eat it. Thank you, Pat O'Brien, for that beautiful definition. I just remember the thing more than I do the names of things. Okay, I'm trying to catch up on the comments. Oh, yeah. Oh, Gina says my mom would put toothpicks in a sweet potato and suspend it in a jar of water. Would grow for weeks. Yes.
That's cool.
And if you get some green onions, you can cut the greens off and then regrow them. There's all kinds of fun things I did during the pandemic. Mona says sweet potato vine took over my garden, didn't plant again, right? But I like to I have some of these raised like planters and I put them in the corners and it just kind of looks nice. Tanya says I have some older dried chickpeas begging to be cooked. Why does it take longer if they're older? I don't know the exact reasons, but they won't soften up. And I also say this at the same time that I will cook 5-6-year-old beans. I just will soak them first, cook them, and then realize I don't want to make them for dinner right now. I'm going to make them for tomorrow instead. Try to cook them before I want them.
Beans are the variable.
Beans are the variable. Okay, so we got about 7 cups of potatoes. I'm going to see if about 4 cups of water is going to cover this. And I think it's going to come real close. We can always add some more water. It's harder to take it out. So we've got that. Now, I don't have any bouillon right now, so I'm going to kind of make it without. I'm going to put probably, let's see, let's go ahead and do a 1/4 cup of nutritional yeast. You could leave that out. That's going to give it kind of that chicken bouillon-y kind of flavor. I've got some homemade poultry seasoning, and I'm just going to put a little bit of that. I'll let Cheryl smell it.
Smells like dressing.
Yeah, that's the poultry. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put a 1/4 teaspoon. And that's one of the things that I put in my dry bouillon. And so that'll kind of give it like smell over that way. It'll give it
good.
Yeah, so it'll give you kind of that bouillon cube sort of thing. I'm going to use onion and garlic powder because I can't be bothered. This is a busy dinner.
And I'm happy. No chunky onions. I've had plenty of chunky onions to pick out for the past week, for sure.
I'm going to do about 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder and about 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder. We can add more later. And you could add some liquid smoke if you wanted kind of that bacon-y sort of thing. I've got some smoked applewood salt that I'm just going to sprinkle on top.
Oh, that's very nice.
It smells so good.
That's going to be the finishing stuff.
It'll be our finishing salt. If you don't use salt, you can just use a little bit of that. You could use some smoked paprika, and that would work well too. Chunky onions, yeah, no. Hand me a spoon, please. A wooden spoon. That one's great. So I'm just going to kind of mix this up a little bit. We could add some pepper in here. I kind of like my potato soup a little bit chunky. I'm probably going to cook this for about, I made these pieces pretty big because I was feeling lazy. But I'm trying to break up the ones that I cut and didn't break up. We'll probably cook it 12 minutes. Just trying to get all those pieces broken up that I cut.
And is the reason that you cut them all about the same size so that they'll cook evenly?
That is true, only she's being generous to say I cut them in the same size. It's not quite the same size.
They look the same size.
They're close.
Better than I would have done.
Okay. And you want to smell that now and kind of get an idea?
Nice.
Right? So, and if you look at
Almost
it,
smells like it has pepper in it. Is that from the poultry season?
I don't think I have pepper in this poultry seasoning, but
Smell it.
it could. So I'm going to stick this in here. It's going to take a little while to go up to pressure and come back down to pressure and all that.
And TS, this is a 6-quart.
Yeah. And this is the Pro. I'll show you. Okay. I'll show you this since some people are new. So depending on how it is, it goes on one way. And actually, it tells you which way. Here. See, there's a close and an open.
That makes the happy sound.
And this is the Pro. So with the Pro, it has this extra little guard, so it's a lot easier to let things out. It makes the condensation smaller, so it's not going to run around as much. You can turn it on and off here. This is going to come up when it's at pressure. No, that's good. All right. And if I can just get my... Oh, great. Hi.
We're over here now.
I know, I've moved stuff all around. Can you wipe up that water?
I can.
Yeah, thank you.
Mouse in water. Not good combo.
Okay, so I'm going to put it on pressure cook for 12 minutes, which it already is. So we're just going to put it on. And actually, I thought I could eat later. Now I'm feeling shaky.
Oh no. Do you need a snack?
I think I need a snack.
What do you want to snack on?
I am going to grab some. Oh, it's a lot. You don't need this fancy one. And don't buy all the Instant Pots. Having an Instant Pot Duo is great. You don't even need a Duo, but the Duo has the fermentation that you can make yogurt with. I'm going to grab
You want sweet potatoes? Those sweet potato
Yeah,
snackies?
I do. I do want some sweet potato snackies. I'm so sorry. I'm like, ha. But we're going to make 2 dressings too. So, and I'm going to let Cheryl talk about the cruise while I eat my potatoes. And this is the potatoes we've been traveling with that I haven't had to eat in all of our travels. And so I'll show them to you. I think I showed them to you guys before. They're organic sweet potato sticks. And the only ingredient is sweet potatoes. And they're kind of fun. They actually look kind of like jelly candy.
I call them sweet potato jerky.
It kind of is. So see how, like this piece, they're kind of translucent. They stick together for sure. And they're a little bit moist, but not too moist.
Sweet potato jerky.
Here, and we can just talk for a minute. Lisa, yours is not basic if it has the yogurt setting. I'm going to
Exactly. All right, Elizabeth says, where do you get those sweet potato sticks?
We got them at Costco. Now, I think you can order them online. I saw something like, I saw the exact same thing with a different brand on Flip.
Oh, yeah?
I want to try them, see if they're as good. I'm sorry to be eaten.
I'm not a fan of them. Like,
It's like potato candy. How can you not like that?
I don't know. There's just something about the textures wrong or something for me. I guess you feel like they're like a gummy candy, but to me there's too much layer, like stringiness to be a candy.
They're not stringy at all. But so what I had one small sweet potato today.
She has not had enough to eat today.
And I'm feeling it now because I'm like, woo.
Yeah.
And so Lisa says sometimes buy dog treats like that. They're drier. The dog treats are drier. These are wetter, like candy.
Yeah. They come in a bag that looks just like this but bigger. And then there's like 6 or 12 of these inside of that bag. Mm-hmm. And here they were like $9.99 or $9.98, something like that. They weren't expensive.
They're not super cheap, but they're not super expensive. And then you have a whole sweet potato with you in your purse.
And they hide them in different places in Costco too, because we found them over in the snacky section originally.
And then we found them over near where the dates and things were. They put them with the dried fruit.
Like with the vegetable stuff.
Cheryl, do you like dried mango?
I do not like dried mango. I don't like many dried fruits at all. Like maybe a cranberry.
This is one serving. It's 240 calories. I can read anything else, but yeah, one serving per container. It's like a small sweet potato.
Yeah, I mean they do the trick. They do the trick.
It really does, because then, I mean, I'm sure there are higher calorie density just because they're dried. Mm-hmm. Like at least halfway dry or more.
Yeah. And Francine says those look awesome to keep in a bag while running around. And that's what we've done with them while we've been traveling. Kathy, usually I have a backpack with me or something, and Kathy usually tosses a couple bags of those in for her. Mm-hmm. For me, when we're traveling, I usually get the small, they're not really trail mix. I don't know what to call them. We get them
like
from
trail mix.
Kind of like trail mix, but without the candy in it.
It's just nuts and seeds.
Nuts and seeds.
And they're portioned.
Yeah, and they're really small portions, but they're just enough to give me a little boost of everything. Especially if we're running around like an amusement park, or we know we're not going to eat for a couple hours. Having that little bit heavier stuff really helps me to stay full until it's time to eat. So,
well, it keeps us from doing things like
popcorn or
French fries.
French fries.
French fries are to me one of the most dangerous foods. I mean, Dr. McDougall is not a fan of popcorn. Mm.
But there's popcorns that you can get that are better made now that aren't as bad as
But they still have oil.
They still have oil, but then they're still better than like amusement park popcorn, which is like all the oil and all the salt and stuff like that. So we'll get a little bit of something like that as a treat, but not very often because it's hard. Like I got a popcorn bucket from Universal.
Do you want to show them?
Yeah, let me grab it.
We're going to talk vacation now. But
I got to show my other popcorn bucket.
And are you going to get the other popcorn?
Yeah.
Vi says, I always have snacks with me too. If I get hungry, I'm not good at waiting. Well, it just depends. Like right now, if my body starts to shake, I have to eat something, or I start feeling like I'm going to pass out. I've never passed out, so it's just an assumption.
I got to show this too. Okay. I got to show this first. Let me set these over here. Oh.
You can put stuff up here if you want. She got a backpack.
Elizabeth, this was waiting for us in the mail when we got home. We got 2 of them. You can read.
We can share. You guys can have one.
Look what it says on the bottom. Yeah, and they gave us a bunch of other little things in the baggie too. They are trying to sway us.
Yes, they are.
Very hard.
Okay, I'm getting some.
Okay. So this is the vacation, this is the size like reusable bucket of popcorn that you get. And so I get like this bucket filled up, and I ate on this bucket for 4 days. It was very stale by the time I finished it. But anyhow, you can when you get these, you can get them refilled for a cheaper price. That's why I got it. Thought I was saving some money, but y'all, there's a whole world of collectible Disney crazy that goes on. And this was our new popcorn bucket we got this year. We got it at Epcot over in the Canada area. And oh, look.
Oh, what do we have in there?
Popcorn. This is how much popcorn we eat.
Oh, that leftover popcorn from when we bought it?
There's
oh my God, that's like 3 weeks old.
There's like 3-week-old. That's how little popcorn we eat when we buy these things. It's all, that just needs to go in the trash.
Well, this is cute because this is all metal.
Mm-hmm. And it plays music and goes around.
We got it from Canada in Epcot for all of you Canadian wonders.
Yay.
We're probably going to get a takedown notice for that. We got it too noticeable.
No, because it's old and that's not got copyright
Kelly
on
loves it. Awesome.
Yeah.
And Mona's saying you can buy Black Jewel, no oil, no salt, just popcorn in a popping bag. Yes. Well, we make popcorn at home. We have a couple of different ways, but one is we use this glass jar that's for popping, and you can kind of see it gets a little, we put pickle juice in there and then put our popcorn in, and then it has some flavor. It's really nice.
Pickle juice flavor. Can't believe this is still in there.
Right?
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and Cheryl has one, Francine, a collapsible silicone popcorn popper that we actually did get for travel, and then we realized we weren't going to have a microwave in one of our rooms, so we from our travel video we renegotiated some things.
So our travel video, we had all this and we had it all planned out, and we had all things that we were going to take with us, and then at the last minute before we left we had to renegotiate everything because we weren't going to have as much room in the car as we had thought we were going to have, because we were taking luggage for 4 people.
And it was Helene's birthday, so we did make more concessions. And by concessions, I mean we went out to eat more than we would on things that we wouldn't normally go out to eat. So like when we always have like a pregame couples conversation and a postgame couples conversation. We're like, that was fine to go to once. We don't really want to do that one again.
Yeah. I mean, most every place that we went to at Disney had lots of options of like some kind of vegetables.
So TS is saying my daughter got the Jabba the Hutt popcorn container that makes a sound. Cheryl would love that.
Yes.
I want to come to Canada for real.
Yes.
Not just the Epcot Canada.
Yes.
I would like that very much. Mona saw pickle juice in the store. We literally just take the pickle juice out of the pickles and then I eat the pickles. But we're not on a salt-free diet. If you're SOS-free, unfortunately, it's very difficult to get pickles because it's a salt that preserves them.
Right. But, I mean, like at Disney, a lot of the places that we went to, you could eat very easily just the vegetables and tofu and stuff. You didn't have to get into any of the impossible meats or anything like that.
Right.
At most places, that was an option that you could ask to have brought out.
Well, we did more family-style dinners than we normally do. So I like the buffet. So we can even talk. Elizabeth's saying, love the pregame and postgame couples talk, because that's how we can decide to do better next time. And also it's a way of, we don't go, oh, you're so bad, you did this, or it's not a blame game. It's like, you know, it was great to go to Germany. That was cool to see. I ate a lot of potatoes and I ate a lot of Brussels sprouts, I think there, which was, you know, so again, we ate more than 50%, probably 75% veggies. I think I had a third of a Beyond Sausage link.
Yeah, I had one full link.
Yeah.
When all was said and done, if you count how many little 3 pieces that I had.
Right. What's going on with the soup? It's trying to come up to pressure. It's going to take a while because it's cold. And though you cannot tell by me, I'm like, I probably have it about 66 in the house, and it takes significantly longer in the winter than the summer for the pot to come up to.
Yeah.
So it's going to come up to pressure. Then it's going to start counting down those 12 minutes, which is why I'm going to make some dressings. Also, we're going to make a salad for ourselves.
Francine says Disney uses way too much Frankenstein meat. And, you know, that's something new, I think.
New is like 2018, 2019. They started doing it. And now that it's more and more.
But we have found places that we like to go to that you can get more vegetables and tofu than you can any of like the fake meats. Like, for instance, we like to go to Skipper's Canteen in Magic Kingdom, because Skipper's Canteen has this delicious, like, what do they call it? The crew stew or something like that. It's like a curry.
Yeah, it is.
Rice with vegetables and tofu.
Yeah. I don't think it even has tofu in it.
It is just
I think it's just
vegetables,
vegetables. So, like, what we do is, again, we're not trying to be 100% whole food, plant-based, no oil. We're trying to be mostly whole food, plant-based. We do allow ourselves to taste a few things. Like, we went to, what was the name of the Toy Story restaurant? Do you remember that? It's like...
It's the something barbecue.
The Roundup barbecue?
The barbecue Roundup. Yeah.
And so Helene had just gone there, and so they had quite a few things, but one of the things they had was something with faux meat that they had made with something, but they also had really good beans. They had vegan baked beans with jackfruit, and that was pretty good. There was some vegan coleslaw. There was corn. So...
Corn on the cob.
If
like
you find
all the corn on the cob that you could hold. It was awesome.
Oh, okay. So rodeo roundup. Thanks,
that's
Francie.
it.
You must be a Disney person. Yeah, the cauliflower in Skipper's Canteen is good. We've gotten the falafel, we've gotten the salad, the soup, and we often get the crew stew. Another place we went that we hadn't been in a long time was Crystal Palace. And I feel like it is a buffet. So like when you have these family style, the difference is they bring you all the things. So you could say, what I would have said in Germany if it was just us is no Beyond Meat. We're good with just the buffet. But it was not just us.
Well, and I was indulging a bit at the beginning of that trip with some of that stuff, because it's not something that I always get at home or anything like that. So.
We don't use it at home. I mean, in fact,
and
I
it's
make
easier
my own
for me to
sausages
have one piece there
than to have a whole bunch
than
in the
to have a
freezer.
whole bunch in the fridge or the freezer that I'm that's going to go bad. So
that makes perfect sense.
So I don't mind having that stuff when I'm there, just because I get a taste of it, and then it's done, and when I come home I don't have to deal with it being here in the house.
Well, and it's kind of like
just egg. We had so much. We had probably more just egg dishes.
We did 2 breakfasts.
Yeah.
Okay, so Crystal Palace though had a just egg Florentine that with lots of veggies. Good. So like even when I make a tofu scramble at home, I make like half shredded vegetables, half that, and you can really bulk up and get a lot of good nutrients in there. He made some stuff for us.
He also made some tofu, and he also had there was the one tofu dish that was really spicy.
And it was on the buffet, and he came and told us what was vegan. But we could get salads. There was a lot of stuff we could have, and most of those places, and this goes for Disney and the ship, you can get balsamic vinegar or red wine vinegar, some kind of vinegar. And so, the actual burgers are really good.
Those are my favorite. I do have those.
We keep those at home, and those are the ones that we do. Like if we have a burger, we indulge in it.
Yeah, those are the ones that actually
Dr. McDougall
and Mary told us about.
Yeah.
And so we've been getting those with the Ezekiel buns.
Yeah, because at least we weren't able to find them last year, but we had enough in the freezer that we've seen that. Oh, you've not seen a jackfruit that you like? That's okay. Helene doesn't like jackfruit and didn't eat the beans.
Yeah.
But it was my favorite part because I thought it was unusual. I would have spiced the beans differently. if we're post-gaming this, they were like barbecue beans with jackfruit. So when I looked at them while I was there as a main, I thought that was really good. Mm-hmm. If I had them at home and maybe I made some other things like barbecue tofu or something like that, I think I would have made them a little more
baked beanie,
a little sweeter. Even if I put some applesauce or something like that in there, so it was real heavy on the other.
Yeah. Cruise food, on the other hand,
was fantastic.
Oh my goodness.
What is Just Egg? It's actually a product that's to mimic egg. Mm-hmm. It's a vegan egg, kind of like the way Beyond Meat is vegan beefy burger. Right?
Kind of like people use mung bean to make egg. Is it made out of mung bean or no?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It's a different process. It's a little more processed. You can make it with mung bean at home, something similar. But basically it makes a scramble. You can also buy these pre-cooked kind of like you would get if you ate egg at a fast food restaurant kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it is made mainly with mung bean. At the cruise, so like what's funny, so this was our first cruise. Mm-hmm. So I heard this was an older ship, so I was ready to not be quite as impressed, mm-hmm. right? But it was gorgeous. And then as we're looking for more cruises, we're like, we got such a deal because for the same price of a balcony, we stayed in the spa class.
Aqua class.
So we got access to these heated tile loungers and the sauna and the steam room the whole time we were there. And the other bonus is we got to eat in this small specialty restaurant called Blue that only Aqua class people eat in. Now, granted, what we ate, you can get in the main dining room.
Right.
So it's not like, oh, they were in the special restaurant, so now I'm screwed. No. So, like, what happens, one Auntie Venom says, I love those sweet potato sticks. I feel so much better. So, let's move that back a little bit. And you can make mayo without tofu. I made mayo with okara, with soy milk pulp leftovers. You can make it with yogurt. Mm-hmm. Like vegan yogurt is a really easy way to do it. Mm-hmm. I've made so many different mayos. So I'm trying to think of what else you could do. But I think you can make it with, you want to make it without tofu. So silken tofu is a real easy way to do it, but yogurt is a great way to do it too. Just like I'm going to make a Caesar salad dressing. So I'm going to be adding a little bit of kala namak, black salt that's pink, which you can get at the Indian market that adds that sulfur. Eggy. It smells just like eggs.
It does, yeah.
It smells just like eggs, not sulfur in a bad way. Mm-hmm. But if you add some of the same things, a little apple cider vinegar, a little lemon, a little bit of this, it should work out really well. Yeah, you can make cashew mayo. You can make everything out of everything, really, in the end.
Yeah.
But so this Blue restaurant, so the first night, even though we told them, we sent an email that we were vegan, they were kind of like, oh, surprise, we don't have it. We'll see what we can make for you.
They basically I sent a thing in and I said, we're vegan, we avoid this, and this. And I had to tell them about my CPAP because there's not a lot of plugs on there. They won't let you bring on your own extension cord anymore. So I had to let them know that I had a CPAP, and then when they brought me distilled water and my cord. But I also, when I filled that out, I put a dietary thing in there and let them know. Their response back to me was, just let your maitre d' know on the first night that you're there.
Right.
Which is what we did. Our maitre d' was phenomenal. She was so lovely.
And one thing also to know, that in addition to this restaurant we're eating at, main dining room, which would have the same things, there's a whole ginormous buffet, like as if, what's that place? Golden Corral was good.
If Golden Corral was good, yeah.
And there is a section that's vegan. So they always had some Indian food. They had rice, wild rice. Vegetables. They had baked potatoes. They had steamed vegetables. They had roasted like
a whole tray of just roasted
whole
vegetables.
eggplant, whole butternut squash that you just squished in and got. So like the first lunch,
You had cauliflower, yeah?
I had cauliflower, butternut squash, eggplant, a potato, some broccoli and carrots. And I had a little bit of taste of one of the Indian dishes that they had. So that it was really quite good.
There was a pasta bar, and they had some of the more dried pastas, not the handmade pastas on there. And so
Which is good for vegans because
Right.
handmade pastas have egg.
So you could get pasta, and then you could pick what vegetables you wanted, and then they kind of saute those all up a little bit and get it warm. And then you could they had a vegan tomato sauce that you could have on it, and just mix it all in, toss it all in.
And they
So
had a
that
bunch
was
of
good.
vegetables, so you could
Lots
also
and
get
lots of vegetables.
you could get a lot of vegetables too.
As a treat, we did get a vegan pizza one night where they had some vegan feta that they used to make us a vegan pizza with lots of vegetables on it. I think it was corn, red peppers, green peppers. I can't remember what tomato or mushroom, I think. And then they had, a
And it
little
was
bit
cool.
of the
They were
feta.
like rolling it out. What was interesting for me, I usually eat gluten-free. I was eating some of the French bread because vacation. And they had, and usually I can't separate my fingers and I get a big bump here, and none of it happened.
Right.
So that was very interesting. They might have had wheat flour from Europe instead of wheat flour from here.
Because as soon as we got back and she had a meal in Fort Lauderdale that had some gluten in it, she started swelling up.
Yeah. So the buffet. That we were on Celebrity Cruise too, and at Blue. So then at the end of the first night, they actually for the first night, and we're going to put this stuff up on the Plant-Based Explorer channel, but we had soups. They made us a special asparagus soup since it had cream in it. I got two beet feta arugula salads because I'm ordering like it's normal size food, but we're in a fancy spot, so like it was like 4 pieces of beets and like a little sprinkling. And I was like, I need another one of those because I thought I was ordering that, and then I ordered another appetizer. I can't remember what it was.
We got the chickpea salad, the salad with the chickpeas, and remember because it had too much celery for me, and I had to keep picking the celery off.
No, that was second night. So anyhow, there was something else. So I had
I had it
ordered
the first night too.
I ordered, or maybe I just ordered the soup and the salad, and I thought, oh, big bowl of soup, a big salad, that sounds great. And then they all got tofu and a potato and steamed vegetables, and I was like, I'm really hungry still, really
And when
hungry.
it came out, it was smaller portions.
Another tiny,
It was very small. They used in that restaurant smaller portions.
it was
than
like
you would-
spa cuisine.
Yeah, so it was smaller portions than what you would normally expect, which did allow for some of us to have second dinner on one of the days. But
And Elizabeth saying 2 nights of vegan pizza. Jeremy was persistent. I
Jeremy,
didn't go for the first night. I was like, y'all go on ahead. See, it's starting to finally start to come up.
Jeremy was on his game.
Not
Jeremy, he just zoned in on the executive chef up there, and then the head chef for that pizza area. And he just was like, what can you do for us? And
Yeah.
they came out and they gave us
And that was in the buffet. That wasn't
Yeah.
even in the restaurant that we
It
were
was-
at. And Vi's saying, how would a gluten-free vegan do on the cruise in general? I think you would do great because honestly, other than that bread, I'm not sure anything else I ate in Blue had gluten.
I don't think it did.
Okay.
The
Finally up to pressure.
the bread was the only thing I think that was gluten in any of that.
Well, for me, then the next night we got salad. I got a Thai green curry, which was not what I expected. It wasn't in coconut milk, and there was no rice under it, so it was just a little bowl of vegetables. But I had a soup and a salad and an appetizer. I came in prepared. So my appetizer was a tiny summer roll split in half. So that would be rice paper. I had corn soup, and then I had the quinoa kale salad, which was just like a little mound, and it was delicious. And then I ate those veggies, and I was like, I am not satisfied. And so that night we did go have a little bit of second dinner.
Yeah, I had the pad thai that night, which my pad thai was different than the pad thai they got the next night, which was interesting because my pad thai didn't have any tofu on it or anything.
Well, no, we requested it.
Okay, that's
so, and we talked about that too. And Francine is saying some cruise lines are better than others for gluten-free vegan, same as restaurants, and I agree. I think this would have worked. And the reasoning is so like all of that was pretty easily gluten-free. The dessert, like I think the chocolate that you guys got was gluten-free, and then we had the chef's special, which was just kind of like vegan whipped cream with berries. Hot tip, and this is our post game. I'd love to go back there again. All I want is berries. I need to just say I would like berries and fruit for dessert. Because it was okay, but it wasn't worth them going through the trouble when really all I wanted was berries. So like Cheryl doesn't like berries. So the day we did get pancakes for breakfast, which were not gluten-free. I didn't ask because I was doing so well.
I got the English breakfast.
Well, one time you got the pancakes, and I'm like, give me all those berries.
Yeah, they were blueberry pancakes, so I also kind of had to take out some of the chunks of blueberry.
You eat the blueberries.
They were too big. They were giant.
They were delightful.
Giant blueberries. They were too big.
Delightful is what they were. Oh, and Elizabeth says, usually all I do is ask for fruit for dessert. I know, and I kept thinking, this is my thing. With Chef Surprise, I was thinking, oh, it must be different tonight. So I asked for it again, and it was just different fruit in it.
Yeah. The chocolate thing that they brought out, like, I was like, it had to be like,
well, the first night was really tiny.
Was really tiny and thin, and it was like, it basically like just dark chocolate on the plate.
I think it was some kind of chocolate ganache something.
Kind of thing,
but
right?
it was absolutely vegan.
Yeah. And then the next time that we got it, it came out, and it was like this thick.
And huge.
And I was like...
And you had asked for yours after them. I think they only prepared two, and it was hard as a rock like yours was, Elizabeth.
Yeah.
So Elizabeth had that problem.
Yeah.
And so that's the Instant Pot. Finally, this is how long it took it to come up to pressure in the cold weather.
But then the other thing that they had that was a nice decadent little treat for being on vacation was they had vegan ice cream. And they had one flavor every day. And the first day we were there, they had strawberry. And it was really yummy. And it actually had strawberries in it as well. And then the next day, it was, I didn't get it the next day, but it was like a peanut butter. I think, was it a peanut butter chocolate?
That's what they said. I didn't have any.
I didn't have any that day.
The third day was vanilla.
The third day was vanilla, and I didn't have any of that.
The strawberry wasn't
great. I did
great.
have vanilla because you got me some little sprinkles on it. So then I had...
and I'm over here just kind of seeing if I can make a maple mustard dressing for her. Yeah. This was just a regular cruise, Gina. This was, nobody else was there.
Mm-mm. Yeah, and it was, I mean, they treated us so lovely. And so what they would, after the first night, what they did was they gave us the menu. That was the regular vegan menu. And there were lots of options on it. I'd say there was at least 6 entrees, vegan entrees.
There were closer to 12 or 14.
Was it? And then there was at least...
And that menu could have been used in the main dining room as well. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm saying you should be able to. And almost everything, I think the only thing was the vegan burger. Mm-hmm. And even with the vegan burger, she couldn't eat the regular roll because it was a vegetarian burger.
It had egg in it. So I just had a burger with like a little like pickly type of thing on top of it. And I had it without bread. But they brought out that sourdough bread. Is it
French bread.
French bread. It was French bread that that they brought out with every meal, so I just had a piece of that with it, and I just ate it with a fork and knife.
But like the default, the thing they can make up in no time, and that you can get in the buffet is they had baked potatoes, they had steamed vegetables all the time. There was rice, there was wild rice.
The wild rice was really
One
good.
lunch they had a quinoa salad, both in the buffet and then in the spa cafe. So it was interesting. Okay, awesome.
Here we go. Elizabeth.
Asiara, it's so good to see you. Yay. That's okay. It's taken till now for the Instant Pot to come up to pressure. So 3 apps, 4 salads, 8 entrees, 4 soups, and 2 desserts.
And we had every single one of those things.
Oh, you texted it to
Thank
Cheryl.
you.
That's
Appreciate
awesome. I took a picture
I
of
have
it
a picture of
too.
it too, but I haven't finished going through. I was just starting to go through the video that we took when we got to the port, and we're
It was
walking
so
in,
cool seeing you.
and it was so funny.
And I'm like, wow. Ooh.
And we had to. Kathy had this heavy bag, and her backpack was heavy, and so she planned it so that she could use the suitcase to make it easier for her to roll her bag. And then when we got through security, they took us. Everybody else was going this way, and they told us all to go this way because they were opening up another entrance, and we had to go like all the way down there. Then we had to go up this one, then up this one, and then there was one more up, and there's Kathy pushing that bag. And it just kept
Well, and there was a bag with my heavy backpack and my other thing. Everything was on that.
It was.
And just so you know, I'm kind of starting out. I'm testing this. She wants a sweet kind of honey mustard-ish kind of dressing. So I've got some yellow mustard, some maple syrup, and some apple cider vinegar. Ooh, I may have some aquafaba now. Because, right?
Oh. Can you use the phone?
No.
Okay.
No. I got something called Fee Foam
You want me to
for
get a can
cocktails.
out?
Let me taste this. Let's do spicy. I may not need it.
Okay. I'll get it.
You can keep talking. I'm sorry. I just wanted to let people know what I was doing before they started asking.
Tanya was saying, where did you find the mini OXO container?
I have the big one too. You should be able to get either one. I found them both at Home Goods. You can get them on Amazon too.
She uses this little one a lot for dressings and stuff. Elizabeth is saying date paste.
You could use date paste in this, or you could just blend a date with it. I wanted to try and give her something a little bit cleaner, and also maple and mustard go together really, really well. But date would give it a little more heft. Because like here, if you want to taste this, just put your finger in that. I think it just needs to be a little more sweet. Right? So I'm not sure I'm going to want to put any other thickener in there. I think that's going to we'll just make a smaller batch.
May not even need to be that much sweeter.
The mustard's a little hot. I'll do one then and we'll see.
Oh, it is a little.
Yeah, you're
the
going to complain
aftertaste.
about it.
The aftertaste, yeah. It's a little burny.
And so you could add in, if you wanted to bulk it up. So it's just for us. And I put this in the small one because I figured we'll just make it as an experiment.
She's asking, are they called something different? No, they're still called the same thing. They're just different sizes.
Yeah, it's just different sizes. And it's nice to make a quick dressing like this. And we could easily add, oh, you want to make more? Okay, cool. I'm going to get the recipe.
The reason I asked her to make this is because they had a nice vegan honey type mustard type of thing on the boat.
I think maybe Is that, okay, you like it like that? Okay, so it was a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, a tablespoon of mustard. I just used yellow mustard. You could use something, you could use any mustard.
Yellow mustard is
a quarter
the best.
cup of maple syrup and a quarter teaspoon of garlic powder. You could add some salt, but I don't think it needs it at all. So, and you could add some aquafaba. Like if this tasted too strong to you, just add a couple of tablespoons of aquafaba. Oh, Amazon Canada only has the large. Interesting. Okay, let's make the Caesar dressing really quick and then we can finish that conversation. Sorry, Cheryl.
It's okay. No.
And then we can keep talking because the soup is going to be done in a minute so I can start. Will you hand me the beast and... Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
I didn't know it wasn't attached.
Well, it never is attached.
It felt attached.
But yeah,
What size?
this is a good, wait, give me just a second to recover. This is a good time to go. Never pick things up by the things at the top. Always with something heavy, always pick it up at the bottom, especially appliances. And that's for everyone, including me, all the time. Not that big. Let's get the small one. Okay. You have to let me hold it before
I
you
got
let
the
go of it.
dropsies. I got the dropsies. Sorry.
All right, I need to measure this. So this could be okara, but I want to show you this. I'm very excited. So this is not okara, even though it kind of looks like it. Here, let me see if it's from here, might be better. No, there we go.
Ooh.
So I've been making some almond milk, and I'll show you these almonds that I've been using. I got it for some reason. So these are, basically they're just skinned almonds. And so that just means that your leftover pulp isn't going to be as dark. If that doesn't matter to you, then it doesn't matter. Okay. I think this is going to be about a half cup, but let's find out. I'm making this up. This is going to be like a Caesar dressing. Okay. And maybe it might be 3/4 of a cup. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and put it all in here. This would work just as well with okara too. And I think honestly, this would make a perfect ricotta for those of you who drink almond milk. Get the blanched ones, save the pulp, and you could use the same okara ricotta recipe. And it should be amazing. Okay, so that's a half cup.
She was very excited when she saw how this came out this morning.
Well, even yesterday is when I saw it really the first time, and I was like, holy crap.
Was that yesterday? I'm sorry. Yesterday and tomorrow and today just run together for me.
It's, you know, we've been gone mostly for the past couple of weeks. And we're here for at least a few weeks before we go. This year coming up is my 60th birthday. So we're going to be living the big life. A really big life coming up this year, I think. And hopefully we'll learn more and more how better to share it. So I'm going to call it a cup. This would have been if you used 1/3 to a half a cup of these almonds with 4 to 5 cups of water to make milk, and then strained it through a very fine mesh strainer. If you didn't, it's not going to be that. Okay. And let me write all this down so I don't lose it. And also this maple mustard would be a great thing for, like, I have some okara chicken nuggets in Kathy's Cooking Club. So if you guys are in Kathy's Cooking Club, make sure to go look for the Okara class. And if you're not in Kathy's Cooking Club, look down below. I've got a bunch of stuff on sale for the holidays. Kathy's Cooking Club is on sale for $30 a month. Right, no, $27 a month.
Yeah.
Instead of $50. And you can pay for the whole year. So this is for new people. If you don't already have the Ninja Creami experience for this week, I've marked it down to $37 instead of $97. And then the first whole food plant-based Ninja Creami ebook is $9.99 instead of $19.99. So there you go. Don't say I never put anything on sale, right? Okay, so that's 1 cup Okara or milk pulp. Okay, we're going to do a good amount of garlic in there. So I'm going to put a ½ teaspoon of garlic to start off with. See if that's enough. I'm going to also, so Caesar dressing is usually made with an egg. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit. Oh, and Tanya's saying my pulp wouldn't work because it comes out like sand. As long as it's not dehydrated, you should be able to use it. You just may have to put in extra non-dairy milk and then let it sit. We can talk about that and we can do an experiment with it. How about that? Aw, thanks, Vi. Happy almost 60th. I'm really like, what is it, 59 3/4.
Is it? It's beyond 3. Well, maybe it is.
It's about 3/4.
4 months.
It's
yeah.
in April.
4 months.
Oh, Jill's going to be 75 in February. Congratulations.
Woohoo.
Yes, Tanya, and I see that. Okay, on the 5th. Oh, lots of February babies around here. Okay. Now, if you don't use any kind of sodium, if you're SOS free, you will not be able to use the Kalanamak. It is a salt. I'm gonna be prudent. If I wasn't here in front of you, I wouldn't do a 1/4 teaspoon, but I'm going to. I'm gonna try. I think it's gonna be a ½ teaspoon. Okay.
So what makes Caesar different from like ranch?
It's very garlicky. So like I worked in a fancy restaurant. We made Caesar tableside. So you take the garlic and you'd run it around the salad bowl. Like it'd be cut, so you're smushing it into the salad bowl. You would put a whole egg into this warm water so it wouldn't kill anybody. And then you mix it up with that and oil, and they'd make the dressing in the bowl.
Ew.
So, yeah. So we're going to put a little bit, we're probably going to put, I don't know, let's put a tablespoon of nutritional yeast in there. We're going to put a little bit, let's put ½ teaspoon of soy sauce to kind of give it some oomph. Because it also has anchovies in it. You could put some seaweed, which I cannot put because Cheryl won't tolerate it. But the soy sauce might give it a little bit of funk. You can sort of get a pre-smell. And we're going to put a little bit.
I'm not doing that because I don't want to die.
Yeah. I will come find you. Okay, of course we're going to have some vinegar. So let's go ahead. I think we can put at least a tablespoon. I'm just using apple cider vinegar. You could use a white vinegar if you wanted to. And I'm going to put a couple of tablespoons of whatever non-dairy plain milk I have, which, surprise, not surprise, is almond. Also, I want you guys to see this. See how it separates? It's not a big deal. Not separated anymore. Everyone gets so nervous about that.
I used to, but I don't anymore. I just give it a shake, and worst thing that happens is the lid's not on good.
Let's try 2 to begin with.
Wow, there's lots of February babies.
Wow. Ooh, CJ's going to be 73 on the 21st. Will you say some of those things while I'm... Oh, I'm going to put a little onion in there, too.
There's a whole bunch of... Tanya will be 49 in 2 weeks.
Ooh, that's a fun one.
Auntie Venom will be 54 on 12th night.
Yay! Have fun.
Terry's in April like you. CJ's February baby. Penny is a September baby.
Is that turned off?
No, it's on.
This must be turned off, yes.
And Lydia will be 62 on January 8th.
Grab this.
CJ will be 73 on the 21st.
Nice. Okay, this is a little thicker than what I'd like. It's almost like mayo. Tastes a little like mayo. Tastes a lot like mayo.
It does.
And you can see it's really pretty thick. So I think I want to thin it down some more.
Vi is an August baby, will be 69, August 27th. Tova says, Kathy, do you own a dehydrator? If so, could you do some recipes for us raw folks? Kathy has several dehydrator classes actually in the cooking club.
Yeah.
I don't know if they would count as raw stuff though.
I don't usually make a lot of raw things. Part of it, where's the wipey? Oh, here it is. I'm usually making things for people without nuts and oil, though I know raw doesn't necessarily introduce that, but a lot of raw food seems to have it. Raw Chef Yen is awesome, and she does all raw food.
Yeah, definitely highly recommend Chef Yen.
That milk jug is from the Almond Cow, but you can get it on Amazon too. And what I really like is this has a plastic silicone lined top for doing that.
Oziara says, I think Caesar dressing is the cheesy.
It is, and that's why I put a little nutritional yeast in. I think this is a good thickness. I think it could have a little more garlic.
A little more colonamic.
So I'm going to do another 1/4 teaspoon. So I'm doing half of what I did before.
Terry says, I don't know how to tell when plant milk is bad.
Okay, let me write this down before I forget. I'm going to do another tablespoon of nutritional yeast. Usually it's the taste. Like, this smells really fresh. It doesn't smell anything bad about it. Like I can tell if I left like my car in the fridge too long, I just smell it and I immediately know. But basically you kind of have to taste it. Homemade milks go bad faster than store-bought. Store-bought has preservatives and can last for a week, sometimes 2 weeks. Lasts longer than they say it's going to, I'll tell you that. Homemade usually lasts 5 to 7 days, unless your fridge is really cold, depending on how quickly you're moving everything around. Oat milk usually only lasts 3 days when you make it home, but it's so easy, it's not a big deal to make it again.
Yesterday, I thought Kathy had already made milk, which she had, but she hadn't put it in the refrigerator yet, and there was some old milk in there, and I just grabbed it and shook it and put it in my coffee. And as I was getting ready to take a drink, I said, this the new milk in the refrigerator, right?
And I was like, no.
And she was like, no. And I was like, oh, this stuff's like 6 days old, 7 days old.
I wasn't incredibly happy. I'm going to add a little more
And I took a
soy
taste.
sauce.
I thought, it didn't smell bad. So I took a taste. And then I was like, yes, it's fine. And then all of a sudden I was like, something just didn't feel right. And I was like, let me get rid of this. So you kind of know. I think your body kind of like tells you, maybe don't drink any more of that.
It wasn't going to hurt you, but yeah, it can be a little hard. The thing for me with milk, like I can't give you an analogy because milk always tasted bad to me. I never liked the way milk tasted, ever. And I am known for offering someone milk for their coffee that I've been drinking all day long, and they were spit it out. They're like, oh, this is bad. I'm like, tastes like it always does to me. So
I'm so glad you're not a vegetarian anymore.
yeah, me too. All right, let's take a look. So one of the things, I'm not really stepping you through this, but you notice that we're doing some stuff, we're tasting it, we're trying again. And that's just how making anything is. I think that's it.
Mm-hmm. Pretty good.
It's a little bit thinner than what I'd like it to be.
I think it'll be good.
And I mean, let me show you what I mean by that. Because it's not like super thin, but it's still like coat your spoon. It's coating just fine. And that's how you can kind of see if it's thick enough. And I think this will be fine. Let me try again. And I've used soy sauce. Yeah, you can have that. Soy sauce to give it a little bit of funk. And with the nutritional yeast. And I think that does kind of give it
It's good.
the Caesar thing. And then we can use, I think I still have some oat Parmesan, and we can toss it with that too for a little extra umami. Let me get the soup ready. Can I give you this and will you scrape it off as properly? Here, I'll give you.
I got the thing.
Here, you can use this one. Oh yeah, you need to use the special one.
Will I do it properly?
To do it properly. Those of you who aren't used to watching me, I believe in scraping every last bit out.
And apparently I like making it messy.
That's okay. We all like different things. Okay.
But if I didn't do this part, she'd be mad at me because she'd say, look at all that you wasted.
Which I say all the time to you. So I do want to get... Well, you know what? I'm not going to make the salad now. I'm just going to do the soup. Let me wipe this down. And there's a couple of different ways you can do the soup. We're going to taste it kind of the way we've tasted everything else and just see how it does. We'll leave it down for a while. I don't think Cheryl's... That is not the mini beast. That's the regular beast. But I do have the mini beast, and we're going to do a demo on it this week. I'm not sure what day, but we will. I will make something around it. Tanya says she finds her milk lasts 5 to 6 days. Never had any left past that to test it. And that's one of the things too. Store-bought is going to last longer. Just make sure you look in the carton and make sure there's not anything that shouldn't be growing there is the best thing to do. Yeah, soy milk you'll smell for sure if it's bad. And Aziara says, when in doubt, throw it out. I always just taste it and let my body tell me what to do. But yeah, Tanya, that's something I could do. I think this is going to be fine. I just had a different thing in mind, but I think this is perfect.
Let me get a towel here.
Because it's going to stick on the leaves really well. You could add a few cashews in here. You could also have added a few rolled oats and blended up really good. You could have used yogurt as a base instead of using the almond pulp that I used. And TS said a NutriBullet would work fine. Actually, any blender. A nice small blender should be great. Oh, and Auntie Venom said my mom gave me a Ninja Creami for Christmas. Yay! I have my first pint blending now. I had your Creami book since it came out. That's awesome.
Can you check that? I don't know if I have that right. It doesn't seem right.
It's the little thing in there. The little things in there. It's got a little gasket in a weird place. I think it's fine.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you can use the NutriBullet. So like, why do I use the Beast? I've been using Ninja. So Ninja was the blender I got so I could use something that wasn't just a Vitamix for people who said, will this work outside of the Vitamix? And then the Beast is almost as powerful as the Vitamix, and for a while it was $69 at Costco. But things like this should work in anything. Oh, Vi says she loves her Ninja Creami, eat ice cream most days, year round. That pumpkin horchata that I actually made a Ninja Creami pint that I haven't used yet. And Video 1000 Nights says, I find vegan, whole food, plant-based, no oil foods that have vinegar can last a really long time sometimes, like bean stew and such. Yeah. Also things like dressings, because vinegars are a preserver just like salt is. Great. All right. So we'll do this. Now, those of you that have a Duo Instant Pot, instead of this and this, you have a little thing with a lever. Cheryl trying to find one? No, you're giving me that. Okay. And what I want you to do is go to let your thing out. And one thing you should see is on the things you got, this can also fit over that. This imaginary thing that's not here, that's on yours, so you don't have to have your hand so close to the steam if it makes you nervous. Okay, but for me, I'm just going to move this so it's not going to hit the camera. But see how I can open it and the steam comes out and close it? That's similar to you going, okay, good.
This one doesn't have the one thing, it's just the old style.
That's great, the old style. So like, and here it'll say venting and sealing. So you'll have it here, and what you'll do is you'll take this little guy and hook him on, right? So you can go shh, shh, and you're not near the hot steam. The steam is gonna come out of this faster. This has this extra little cover on it. You can leave this up here, okay? And they're all different kinds. So Tanya says hers has a push down button. I can toggle it, but with the Pro, unless it's a really, really juicy soup, I can just do this. And if I notice it's starting to get too much condensation, I could turn it off. Same thing, go because if you just throw it over there and it's a soup, see there you go, hear it?
You can hear it start to
That's
gurgle.
when there was more liquid. Dog Mom, thank you. I'm going to probably be cooking every day between now and New Year's. On video even, live with you. So I just kind of got a little toasty, a little burnt out, and I just needed some downtime. And while Disney was great downtime, we were very busy.
It was a very active trip.
The cruise was perfect.
We might have spent some Christmas money.
Well, I had hurt my back. Riding back from Disney, I slept in the back of the car, and the road messed up my back.
Thank you, South Carolina.
But we did spend Christmas money in the spa, so I got 2 massages, and now I feel like a real girl again.
And you got your toes done.
Yeah, I got a pedicure.
And we got reflexology.
We went extra.
But it was Christmas money.
So it's not real money, I guess. Okay, hopefully I've come close. Oh, will you turn the fan on?
Yeah.
Thank you. It might be okay. It's actually doing okay.
Is it?
Yeah. So you could like take an immersion blender in here, and I hope I didn't put too much water in. If I did, I'm just gonna cook it out. We'll know more when the potatoes are all squished up. I like my potato soup to have a little bit of texture. Tanya says, sounds like my kind of extra. Yeah. And you can make this as thick as mashed potatoes or have it more soup consistency. Elizabeth says, laugh out loud, you guys spent just a little Christmas money. No, we spent some Christmas money.
But that's what my mom likes for us to do, is spend it on us. On things that we wouldn't typically get for ourselves.
And she's bought me some cool appliances before too, honestly. So this is how I like to do it. If you don't like these little, like see that chunk is too big, I like to have a little bit of texture to it. We could also put an immersion blender in here. I put in 4 cups, so I'm going to say 3 to 4 cups of water, 6 to 7 cups potatoes. But honestly, most potato soup is poor people food. So people aren't really going, oh, let me get, they're like, what do I have? And I still have some, back in the day, some milk and some potatoes, and I have to feed 10 people. Okay, potato soup.
Yeah.
And we can add a little bit of non-dairy milk in there if we want, or the kitties are doing great.
Yeah, I can show.
There's Fergus. He's sleeping right down there.
I don't think they can see it.
Oh, okay. Fergus, like, what are you doing? You want more tuck in? There you go.
Good boy.
There's a heater right in front of him.
And then the other one, I'll let you switch it back for a minute.
She's sleeping somewhere, I'm sure. I'm going to saute this a little bit while I'm doing the salad just to let it cook down just a little bit more.
Oh, she's not over here. I thought she was.
It smells really good. Let's see. Gina's ready for potato soup, and so am I. And Gina says, Kathy and Cheryl, you work hard all year and had a rough fall. Here, well, you can, okay, wait, here's Luna.
Luna.
And there's also my cases of beans we just ordered. Luna. Speak to the people. Say hello.
She's gotten bigger. She's longer.
She's gotten so big, you guys. And she's awesome.
She is.
She really, really is awesome. Oh, you're funny. Claire says, sorry, I'm trying to watch, but the family's interrupting. Cheryl interrupts all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, you got back from a Disney cruise 2 weeks ago? Ooh, I must hear about this, and I must know about where you ate and what you ate.
And which boat you were on.
Yeah. And Tia says, the soup looks good. I might try it with some small diced onions. I actually have some chives and thyme here. I'm going to decorate the top. You could do a little cashew cream or onion cream. If you go to healthyslowcooking.com, it's not a quick thing. It's not for tonight. You can roast an onion and puree it with a little bit of lemon juice, and that would be really good to put on top. Some, what else? You could do more chives than I'm going to. You could do onions. You could do some vegan bacon bits. You could do all kinds of things. Right?
You put liquid smoke in there?
Long Luna. Yeah, I'm putting...
Oh, the salt. We're using the salt.
I'm going to put some salt on top.
Yeah. The applewood smoked sea salt.
Smell it with this.
Okay.
And you'll see. You'll see what I'm talking about. Exactly. And that is why we smell things to make decisions, because it's always our nose is right. Luna's so beautiful. She's growing for sure. She really is.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Oh, Vi has a black and white tuxedo cat named Cookie.
Oh.
That's awesome. Christina uses a knife sharp paring knife instead of a peeler. And I like to cheat when I can. And TS says when sauteing, is there a temp jump adjustment? So like when you hit the saute button, their high is there, and depending on what model you have, there may be a low and a high. So like I'm going to turn this one on low. And then you have, for the ones that have a start button, you have to hit a start button. So like mine wasn't really on. We were just pretending. And there's a custom on this one, but like on the Duo, I think there's a high and a low. It's in my book. I wrote down about all the buttons and what all the fishes do. Aw, my dog Ciara always sits in the doorway. You just never know. She's just there staring at us like, what are you doing?
She's looking at herself in the mirror.
She is hilarious. They play and wrestle so hard now. Like
they were bouncing off of me Monday night or Tuesday night. Both of them wrestling on top of me while I was in the bed. And then launching off of me like I was a trampoline or something.
And she just snuggles up to, she snuggles up in my hip. And then if she wakes up, she'll go, meow, for me to wake up and pet her.
Well, now if I get up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, both of them follow me in there and want cookies.
That's because you gave them cookies in the middle of the night. That's why I don't.
Just trying to get them to leave me alone.
That's not the way to do it. That's the way not to do it. Yes, Jill is the one who does the whole food plant-based cooking show. Not the Jill who's here. There is a Jill, but she's not in here.
There's Jill Dalton and Jill Newsnow. You're talking
well,
about.
and then there's the Jill that comes on our shows and hangs out.
That's right. That's right.
So, all right, guys. Well, we're going to go eat. So I'm going to wash and cut up some romaine lettuce, maybe shred some carrots. We're just having B-flat basic salad and big bowl of potato soup.
And I will get you guys some highlight reels together, and I'll put them on the Explorers. Probably get one up tonight.
We could even put it on both channels if you want. Like especially if it's a vertical, and then we can.
Yeah.
And if you're not already following the Plant-Based Explorers, please do that. That's our new channel where we're going to talk about all things travel. There will be some non-whole food, plant-based, no oil food there with options that we did, just like we did today. Like we talked about what we ate at some restaurants that weren't, maybe how you could do something a little different. So it's not that we're not whole food, plant-based, no oil anymore, because we are. It's just we might talk about some things a little differently. And I won't be making all the recipes necessarily, but there could be some that you see there and you want me to make, and we can do like we're doing today. Mm-hmm. And if you want a real smooth potato soup like you get, you could just blend it up with an immersion blender. I like it when it's a little bit chunky. It just feels like more food. That was the only thing I didn't. I wish there were some more textures in the soups we got on the boat.
Yeah, they were all very
they were all pureed.
They were all like Cheryl approved, pureed to death, like liquid goodness.
And they were delicious.
I did find myself wishing there was a little more texture to the corn soup, for sure.
Yeah, and TS says it has a sous vide button. You need to kind of look up. I have a sous vide on this one too. What it does is it cooks something at a consistent temperature. Sous vide is typically used for meat and eggs. I had a sous vide and I did some recipes for a sous vide manufacturer, but they were kind of silly recipes that didn't really need a sous vide. So I don't use it that often. Actually, I have never used it on my Instant Pot before. Mm-hmm. So, and Vi is saying, oh, they trained you, Cheryl. Yes, they have.
All the animals always do. They see like sucker all the way.
Oh no, Lisa's right. That's how you teach them bad habits. She ruins all the animals.
I do not ruin them.
You turn them into greedy, greedy little monsters.
I didn't have anything to do with this one
Such a
over here being a
pleasure.
greedy little monster. She's done that all on her own.
Well, no, that's what happens when they come from the shelter. Then they have to eat a lot. And she's getting a little chunky, but I think she's
But
also
now
still growing.
Now she'll go like this to Fergus.
And she will move him out of the way from the food bowl, and he's just like, "What's going on?"
But she has to eat out of whatever bowl. They both have their own bowls, but she'll go and eat whatever bowl he's eating out, and she'll follow him around. It's so funny. She's like, she mimics him and does stuff that he does.
They both do, like the way she was laying in the hall. Fergus never just laid in halls that way, and you'll see them downstairs, both of them, like licking each other, laying that way. And then they're learning a lot from each other.
And then Fergus does this thing he does where he tries to get her to play, where he hops around. It's really cute. And he wiggles his butt.
Yeah, they're really funny. They're really funny. Oh, well, thanks, guys. Well, this is just basic. Again, I'm just going to cut up some lettuce, maybe grate a carrot. And one of the reasons why I want to do some of these is that it can be really, really hard. You just went through some holidays, right? Mm-hmm. You probably, maybe you ate perfectly. Maybe you kept your plan perfectly. But if you didn't, this is really delicious, and this is always treaty. Like, potato soup is amazing to me. It's perfect. I can eat as much of it as I want. We can have some salad, and it's just delightful. And is this video long? Yes, it is, because it took a while for this to come up. You can make the same potato soup on the stove in less time than I did today.
But then we wouldn't have time to chit-chat.
Well, then the potatoes would have taken a lot longer to cook. So it's just, this was a way that I didn't have to think about it.
Yeah.
Plant-based explorers, yeah. Tanya used her sous vide when she ate meat, yeah. Sold it when I went vegan. What's better than one cat, two cats? I have never had two cats that play together and enjoy each other as much. Like, Fergus was getting mad. He likes to lay on me this way when I'm in bed, and he flicks his tail because he's like, yes, I want you to love all over me, but I'm not sure I really like it. He loves it. And then Luna's like, ooh, toy.
He got exactly what he asked for.
Oh, and he squealed. It wasn't even that hard. He was just indignant. Because if I touch his tail, it'll be like, meow. And like touch. So.
They're quite fun. I'm hoping that maybe I can get some video of them playing and stuff too to show you guys.
Yeah. All right, you guys, have the very best night. And thanks for hanging out with us and making some easy food, okay? Yep. And we will see you at some point tomorrow. I'll decide when I get up in the morning because I'm trying to just live that vacation-y, that in between Christmas and New Year's that you're not sure what you're supposed to be doing. Yeah. I want to live that to the fullest, and I hope you do too.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say before we go?
No, if you haven't signed up for Plant-Based Explorers, go on and look up Plant-Based Explorers. And the logo looks like a little badge like you would get if you were a Girl Scout or a Boy Scout or something like that. So.
Cheryl's very excited about that part.
Yes, I feel like I did a good job.
You did.
You made it though.
Yes, I did. I was tempted to say I made it when you were like, I did a very good job. I was like,
no, I mean,
I did a very good job.
I described kind of what I wanted, and then you ran with it, and it was awesome. It was a team effort.
It was a team effort. And Francine says, thanks, good little reset soup after the fancy vegan holiday foods. Yes, absolutely. Okay, you guys, have the very best night. And I will do my best to give you a heads up like I did tonight. I may not be able to schedule super far in ahead. I'm going to try and get into that mindset. All right, you guys, we will see you tomorrow, though, for sure.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.